the girl that Lawrence, Chuck and myself promised to help all week with the event, and then we all disappeared to different parts of America and let her do it all on her own. But she's done an amazing job. Thank you to Crystal Method, and thank you to the celebrities that have come here tonight. But I think what you all want is the person that I'm going to introduce now. It's very difficult to find ways to describe him. The greatest man, the greatest warrior for the environment, the real ocean warrior, Captain Paul Watson.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming this evening. And well, we're all set to leave in about 1 month's time for the Southern Oceans again. And this time we're going down stronger and better equipped than ever, thanks to all our supporters.
That's right.
We will have 3 vessels. Steve Irwin, the Bob Barker, and a 3rd vessel which will show you here soon. And most importantly, 80 passionate volunteers from about 16 different nations, including Japan.
Awesome.
And this year we're calling this Operation No Compromise because unfortunately this year the United States and New Zealand decided that they were going to try and compromise with Japan and allow the legalization of whaling. Fortunately that failed. This isn't really just about saving whales. This is about our own survival. Because if we can't save the whales, if we can't save the fish in the sea, we're not going to be able to save our oceans.
That's right.
And if our oceans die, we die.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
One of the things that I've been an idea that I've been trying to get across is to look at the planet Earth in this way. This is a spaceship. We're on a spaceship and we're hurtling through space. There are 2 types of species on this spaceship. There are crew and there are passengers. And the crew are running everything, and we just take them for granted. We're the passengers, we're having a good time. But the crew are the bacteria and the insects and the worms and the fish and all of these creatures that clean this planet, make it possible for us to breathe, give us the food we eat, and we're killing them off. We're in the middle of a major extinction event and we're killing them off. As Albert Einstein once said, get rid of the honeybee, I'll give humanity 4 years.
That's right.
And this is true of the fish in the ocean. There's simply not enough fish in the ocean to continue to feed our ever-expanding populations, and the oceans are in trouble. And that's why I set up the Sea Shepherd Society. We're not a protest organization. We're not going out there and protesting anything. It's far too submissive. We're going out there and intervening because we have all of the laws and the regulations and the rules we need to protect our oceans. But what we don't have are governments with the will and the initiative to go out and enforce their own regulations. They love to get together at these conferences and draft all these reports and stay in 5-star hotels and eat great meals and everything like that, and they all come out and pat each other in the back and say, whoa, we just signed the Kyoto Protocol. It means nothing, you know, without enforcement. So we're going down there to enforcement. Now the problem that we have is that we actually have companies investing in extinction. Money is to be made by driving species into extinction. And this is the reason that in the last summer we went after the bluefin tuna poachers in the Mediterranean. Mitsubishi has been building giant refrigerated warehouses throughout Japan. And what they're doing is stuffing as much bluefin as they can into these warehouses. One bluefin tuna, one fish, is worth $75,000 on average.
Wow.
The most expensive fish in the world. And they're putting those expensive fish into these warehouses because they know that the more that the population is diminished in the wild, the higher the price of the commodity in the warehouse. And if they can wipe them out and they have a 10-year supply sitting in the warehouse, they've got $1 million fish and billions of dollars worth of profits for Mitsubishi. They're literally investing in the extinction of species. And this is happening with fisheries all over the world. And we're going to, we can only push this so much. If I were to go into the engine room of my ship and I saw my engineers popping rivets out of the hull and I say to them, what are you guys doing? Oh, you know, when we get back to port, we get $1 a piece for these. And I said, oh yeah, well, geez, count me in for that, because that's what captains of nations, presidents and prime ministers are doing. They're supporting the rivet poppers, because they're going to pull one rivet too many, the hull's going to collapse, and the ship's going to sink. And this is what's happening on Spaceship Earth. Every species is a rivet in the hull of the biosphere, and we're popping rivets at an unbelievable rate, and we're going to pull one too many, and it's going to collapse. You know, 2 years ago, I was severely criticized by the Fox Network, which is a compliment, but I made a statement that I said that worms were more important than people. And of course, people were outraged, but that's why I made the statement. And what I meant by that, and the idea I was trying to get across, is that worms can live on the earth without people, but we can't live on the earth without worms. We need them, they don't need us. The fish don't need us, but we need them. And the same with the insects, the bacteria, and all these other creatures, the crew that run this spaceship Earth. And that's the idea we got to get across. We need them. We need to protect them. And protection of biodiversity on this planet is the single most important mission that we can involve ourselves in, because the destruction of biodiversity is the destruction of the planet. That was pretty well timed. So I set the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society up as a very unique organization. There's no other organization like it, because we're volunteers primarily. 80% of the crew are volunteers. And what we do is we're not protesting, we're enforcing. And we're doing this all over the world. We have a project in the Galapagos Islands, working in partnership with the Ecuadorian Federal Police and the Galapagos Park Rangers. And over the last 10 years that we've been there, we've seized over 250,000 shark fins, arrested 60 poaching vessels, put numerous poachers in jail. And this year we're actually installing a €1 million AIS system to monitor every vessel that comes into the park marine reserve in order to protect it. We're in the Faroe Islands trying to stop the slaughter of pilot whales there. This last summer we were in the Mediterranean, where we cut the nets and released 800 bluefin off the coast of Libya. And that was interesting, because we had to cross Gaddafi's line of death in order to do it. And the Libyan Navy chased us, but we outran them. And we're also trying to stop the seal hunts in Canada and in Libya, and trying to protect the fish worldwide. Now, it's very difficult to try and get sympathy for a fish, but you know, we do get a lot of attention on the whales, so we translate a lot of that attention to also protecting the fish. And really trying to get people to understand this one most important message, that those oceans out there are the lifeblood of this planet. This isn't the planet Earth, we just call it that because we live on land. It's the planet ocean. And the oceans are in trouble. Jacques Cousteau said just before he died, the oceans are dying in our time. And if the navies of the world had any sense of moral responsibility, they would be protecting our oceans instead of playing silly little war games with each other. But since the navies aren't doing it, it's up to us to build a navy that will protect our oceans. And that's why we call our ships Neptune's Navy. And navies are expensive. Very expensive. Ships are expensive. Someone once described owning a sailboat as just standing in a cold shower dropping $100 bills down the drain continuously. And you can imagine how much more expensive large ships are. And we have large ships, and they burn a lot of fuel, and they require a lot of work. But that is our Navy, and that's what we set the sea with in order to protect life. Now, in going after the Japanese whaling fleet, we have the Steve Irwin and we have the Bob Barker. And Bob Barker, thanks to Bob, giving us $5 million. Now, we also had a fast interceptor vessel, thanks to Audie Gill, called the Audie Gill. And this year, the Japanese deliberately targeted it, rammed it, cut it in half, and destroyed it. Now, there's never been a case in recent maritime history ever where a captain of a ship has deliberately destroyed another vessel and has not been questioned by anybody as a result. Japan refuses to cooperate with Australia and New Zealand's investigation, and Australia and New Zealand just said, well, what can we do? Well, it's all on video, we can go after it, but no, they just refused to. Japan is operating in the Southern Oceans as a criminal organization, targeting endangered whales and taking acts of violence. And you know what? The Japanese are calling us violent. And now I'm officially an eco-terrorist.
Oh, Oh God, please.
I'm on the blue list or whatever. Well, of course, the Dalai Lama's on it too. But any world where any planet where the Dalai Lama is considered a terrorist, well, I'm proud to be one too. So anyway, our mission this year, our challenge this year, was to find a vessel to replace the audio, the one that was destroyed, and we found one.
Yeah.
As fast and twice the size. So I'd like to unveil this, and this is here's the picture. We've secured the vessel, but here's the catch.
Awesome.
We haven't paid for it.
Oh, shit.
It's $1 million.
That is awesome.
We have to pay for this vessel. So that's our challenge. Now, actually, anybody can buy the Navy rights for this for $1 million. So if you want your name on the boat, we can do that. It's great advertising. Other than that, we might have to call it Godzilla. That would be interesting to say Godzilla against the Japanese whaling fleet. But anyway, this is why we're here tonight, is to try and to pay for this vessel. What this will do is give us the ability to chase down the harpoon vessels. What they did to us last year was they came up with a new tactic, and they met us outside the harbors with their ships, which are faster than us, and they tailed us. We could not shake those tails. And as a result, it delayed us a month and a half before we could get onto the Japanese fleet. Once we're on their tail, they can't shake us. And once they can't shake us, we can shut them down.
That
We will
is an
not kill a
awesome
single
vessel.
whale once we're on their slipway. But to get on that slipway, we have to go faster than the harpoon vessels. Thus, that's why we need this vessel, to go right to the fleet and direct us to that fleet. And the only way we can do it is with a vessel faster than our harpoon vessel. So that is the main role of our fast interceptor vessel. And also to keep on the harpoon vessels individually and to save whales as they go along. We expect the Japanese will be far more aggressive this year than they've ever been, because last year we cost them $135 million in losses. They're $200 million in debt in subsidies to the Japanese government. They're hurting really bad. And also, they were pretty much given the green light with their violence because they got away with destroying one of our ships. Now, I can tell you right now, if I had sunk one of their ships, the Australian Navy would have been down there to put me under.
Exactly.
So it's a double standard.
Exactly.
Definitely. So we're fighting a very difficult battle. They're down there trying to kill us.
Hi.
And we have to do
I
what we
friended
do,
you on
making sure we
Facebook.
don't hurt them.
Raven.
And that's why we developed all
Remember
sorts of
that.
non-violent, well, they're very aggressive, but non-violent tactics. We don't want to hurt them. That's with the butter bombs. And this year we've got some really good new tactics of equipment which isn't going to hurt them, but it's really going to make life very difficult for them. Even better than the rotten butter bombs. And so that's what we're going to go down there and do. And like I said, we have 80 very dedicated and passionate people from around the world who are part of this. And I think that we're going to make a real change. And so anyway, this is where we're at, and this is the vessel. And if you want your name on it, it's just only $1 million.
All right.
That's not a lot of
I'm
money
working
for
on
that kind
it.
of advertising, really, you know. And we're not proud. Coca-Cola, okay, put your name on it. No, seriously. I mean. But thank you very much for coming, and thank you for participating. And look, you know, I don't expect you to give $1 million, but give what you can. And think of it this way: if you're not just supporting us saving the whales, you're supporting us protecting our oceans, and therefore you're investing in the future of all of us, our children, our children's children's children, because the oceans are the ultimate challenge. If we cannot protect our oceans, then we simply will cease to exist as a species. We will go extinct. And that's something we really have to understand. And I'm just hoping we can get that message across. So thank you very much.
Tonight. So what we're going to do tonight is, many of the items are extremely passionate to the sea Shepherd team. And you're going to have the opportunity to help them out tonight by bidding on these and taking these home.